Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, Watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut to giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Malaki Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach, Malaki Bashai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. And shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, married and unmarried, right? Those who reverence their husbands and those who tend upon the Lord without distraction. Shalom, shalom. And shalom to all of the ancient men, the children, the elect of Israel, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, and everybody tuning in live. Christopher Hare, shalom. Sarkisha Goodens, shalom. Teremiah Bani Yasha Allah, Richard Perez, Anthony Knox. We got next to Israel. Princess to a King, Tapuak, Clever Loyal, Renea A, Ephraimite Ak, T. Sellers, Vernon Brody, right? Don Israel, 1968, Divine in Nature, and everybody else tuning in, and that will tune in, Lord willing. Last day's Q&A, right? Last day's Q&A, scriptural breakdowns and various topics. So I'm running late, Salakia, but man's goings of the Lord, right? Proverbs 20:24. How can a man then understand his own way? Proverbs 19:21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. Right? So let's dive right into these questions through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hamashiach Malaki Bashai. All right. First come, first serve. Christopher Harris. All right. Shalom, Ak Shalom. In reference to today being Valentine's Day, my girl knows me personally. I don't celebrate. However, she asked if it was possible to go out to dinner for lunch today as a couple. Right. Well, that's essentially you got to judge that as a judge, man, and understand that this thing, Valentine's Day, stirs up a lot of spirits, man. And it just so happens that everybody wants to do things on these certain days, right? Like your family. They want you to come over and spend family time on Thanksgiving, right? Now it's a family get together on Christmas. Now they just want you to visit your grandmother at the church on Easter, right? Now your mother just wants you to just come over and do whatever on her birthday. It just so happens, coincidentally, and I say that sarcastically, that a lot of these worldly holidays are used by our people in the world to bring you out the truth, to make you serve diverse gods, man. And it just so happens to be on these days. So Valentine's Day, going out as a couple on Valentine's Day, that is of the world, man. Now there's no sin in going out, but if it's in the spirit and your conscience, if it's in her heart as Valentine's Day, and you know that and can perceive that, then you can't do that, man. Right? This is First Corinthians. So that's the spirit I opened up to this, right? First Corinthians chapter 10 and verse, I'll start at 20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to the Most High. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. So having fellowship, and I've done a cold cut last year, right? Diving into the dark origins of Valentine's Day and Lupercalia and the sodomy and the freakism and Cupid and the pedestry and the pedophilia that's rooted within this day. So if you decide to go out and you want to get a Big Mac or you want to go to a fancy restaurant, it don't matter, and it's in the spirit of Valentine's Day, by default, you are worshiping devils. Are you worshiping demons? Because this holiday is full of demons, man. Full of sex and fornication and freakism and covetousness and lust and madness, man. Verse 21. Ye cannot drink the cup of Yahweh, Bashmi Abishai, and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of devils. Yeah, you can't sit there and eat the Passover coming up in a few weeks. And then a few weeks ago, you was just eating a box of chocolates, man, in the name of Valentine's Day. right? You can't eat Halloween candy dedicated to ghouls and goblins and the headless horseman, and then you just got out of keeping the Feast of Tabernacles. You can't serve two masters. Verse 22. Do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? So you can't provoke the Most High to jealousy, man. You can't tempt the spirit, right? That's Deuteronomy chapter 6. Right, let's get that. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each question, for sake of time. But let's just get this. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and 16. Ye shall not tempt Yahweh your God as he tempted him in Massah. So you can't tempt Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and say, well, I'm just going out. It's not that big of a deal. I'm only going out for the food. Right? Then a lot of people convince themselves that they're not wicked, that it's not as bad, that it's not a sin, that it's not idolatry. You'll tell yourself, well, I'm only going out, just getting a few bites to eat, right? And then I'll tell her about the evil of Valentine's Day on this day. And then maybe she'll come around and, it's really not that bad. What you're trying to do is convince yourself that you're not as evil as you are in that moment, huh? By trying to pretty much coddle your sin, right? And that wickedness, man. Right? So you can't sit there and celebrate these customs, right? This is what the Most High said. This Ecclesiasticus. We'll get one more on that, right? So your woman should be following you, man. And you got to put the hard line in the sand to say, no, we're not going out today, man. Right? Especially if you want to go out in the spirit of Valentine's Day. Some people, they might have forgot it was so-called Valentine's Day. They've been in the truth so long, they might have went out, got something to eat, made some moves, but they're not thinking about it. It's not in their conscience. It's not in their spirit. But some people, they're eating this food as a thing dedicated to idols, man, and they're defiled. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and 16. And let just men eat and drink with thee, and let thy glorying be in the fear of the Lord. Man. So all your eating, your drinking, your mirth, your congregating, your festivities, your enjoyment with one another, it should be in the spirit of justice and a spirit of law and a spirit of equity and righteousness. And your glorying should not be on February 14th with candy and long walks in the park and chocolates and roses and daffodils and rose petals that lead to the bed and all types of stuff, man, and jewelry and that day is pretty much woman worship, right? And simp day, a man that gives his strength over to a woman and idolatry. So your glorying has to be in the fear of the Lord, not in worldly holidays. All right, next question. If it did, would it be breaking the commandment? Yeah, we covered that. Okay, next question. Sarkisha Goodens. What is the spiritual meaning of the number 16? Well, there's no account, right? There's no account of 16 carrying any weight biblically. But there are numbers that do have, the Most High deals with numerology on the right-hand side. It doesn't mean you worship numbers. It doesn't mean there are lucky numbers. It doesn't mean that these numbers can influence your life if you think about them or write them down on a sheet of paper or play them in the lottery or none of that madness, right? The one of the previous cold cuts that we did was 666. Do you have the number of the beast? And we went over certain numbers have spiritual meanings, right? 1,000, 10,000, 40, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, right? A lot of numbers have spiritual meaning. So if you want to dive into that and understand what these 24, what these numbers mean in the spirit, then you're more than welcome to do so. 144,000, right? 144, right? But the number 16 biblically doesn't have any spiritual meaning behind it, right? The number 8 does and other things, okay? So next question. Princess to a king. How do we praise the Most High? There are many ways you can praise the Most High, right? There are many ways you could praise the Most High. Let's go to the book of Ephesians, right? Chapter 5, right? This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse, I'll start at 19. Speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making a melody in your heart to the Lord. So one way you can praise the Most High is by psalms and hymns. See, a lot of people think that, singing songs to the Most High is of Christianity and it's rooted within the world. Our forefathers, you had Levites, you had Nethinims, and you had courses of singers that were set up by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai through David and through Solomon and through the kings of Judah to praise the Most High. And that was through songs. So one way, now you can say, well, I don't sing. Well, you don't have to know how to sing. You don't have to be a sister. You don't have to be Whitney Houston. Or brother, you don't have to be damn Babyface or Luther Vandross, man. You don't have to be none of these guys, man. Right? It's about your sincerity. And the Most High, he sees what's in your heart, man. You're not doing this for man. You're praising Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And that can be with a spiritual song, to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's one way you can praise the Most High. Right? Let's go to Psalms. Right? And that's a beautiful spirit to have. If you come up with a way to praise the Most High, by singing a song to him. It don't have to be nothing deep. It don't have to be, you don't need a chorus and a hook, and you don't have to be in the studio and, you got the damn 808s, and you don't have to do all of that, right? David danced and he praised the Most High. You praise the Most High by giving thanks to the Most High. You understand? By talking of all of his works. There are many ways you can praise Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Simply saying, call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? Which is called as all halal is praise. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Just thanking the Most High is another way you can praise the Most High. Right? This is Psalms 149 and 1. Praise ye Yahweh. So when you praise someone, like if somebody, they came and they did an excellent job and they maybe out of backyard, they did your fence, they cut the grass, maybe they digged and put a pond right there, and they went and they made this park and this bench, and you would praise them and say, hey, you did an excellent job. I like the way that you did this, and that fence looks pretty good, and that pond, that's nice, and you put the fish in there, and the grass is trimmed and it's cut, and you painted the swing set, and you would praise them by talking of the great things that they do. So that's another way to praise the Most High, just simply speaking about the great works of your Creator. A lot of our forefathers, they praised the Most High in prayer. And they pretty much, for lack of better terms, bigged up the Most High. The Most High needs to be praised. The Lord has angels that praise him all day. Right? Let me get that in Revelation. Let me go back to that in Psalms. Right? This is Revelation chapter 4 and verse 8. Right? This is Revelation chapter 4 and 8. And the four beasts, Slakia, bear with me. Right? This Revelation 4 and 8. And the four beasts had each of them 6 wings about him, and they were full of eyes within, and they rest not day and night, saying, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, which was and is to come. And when those, so you got angels that all day 24/7, right? And they can hit notes, man. They're not singing like a so-called white man in a Catholic church, right? Our singing and our praise ability comes from on high, right? So you got these spirits that's praising the Most High 24/7, and this is how they praise him: Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, which was and is to come. Now, verse 9. And when those beasts, these beasts are living creatures, when you look it up. The same thing, meaning angels. It's not a beast like an ox, right, or a gazelle. These are spirits. In Ezekiel, they're called living creatures, right? And that's what the word beast etymologically means. It means a living creature, okay? Right? But it reads, and when those beasts give glory and honor and thanks to him that sat on the throne, who liveth forever and ever, those 24 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne and worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. right? So this is what the Most High put in their spirit to do. Huh? So the angels are up there praising the Most High, right? The saints in the heavens, and you ought to praise the Most High on the earth. Let me get this real quick. Psalms chapter 105 and verse 1. Oh, give thanks unto Yahweh. Call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people. That's another way to praise the Most High. Giving thanks to Yahweh, Bashmel, right? And then you list the things that you are thankful for. You call upon his name. His name is Yahweh. His son name's Yahweh Shai. Another way to praise the Most High is make known his deeds among the people. Speaking about the works and the things that Yahweh Bashmel Shai has wrought in your life. That's what they call testimonies. And speaking of his creation, man. The beautiful things that the Lord has done and that he has created. The Lord loves to hear his men and his daughters, right? His people praise his works. The Lord don't just want to hear you just ask, man. When you mess up and do things, man. When you need stuff. The Lord is not a magical genie in some bottle somewhere, man. Waiting for you to rub the bottle. And he grants you 3 wishes. He's not a 4-leaf clover. He's none of these idols. And men ought to praise the Most High, right? And talk of his works, man. Right? Make known his deeds among the people. Sing unto him. Sing psalms unto him. Talk, yea, of all his wondrous works. Give, yea, glory, yea, in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord. So these are many ways you can praise the Most High: by giving thanks, by calling upon his name. It's like, am I making known his deeds among the people? By singing songs to the Most High, right? Psalms chapter 149 and 1. Praise ye Yahweh. Sing unto Yahweh a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. So you have people dancing, right? David danced, man. Now you say, well, I don't have no rhythm. Hey, look, man. David danced. David played the harp. David got down, man. David didn't just kill Goliath all day. David was praising the Most High, right? So, there are various ways you can praise Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, right? Many ways. So let's move on. Okay, next question. From Divine in Nature LLC, Shalom, Brother Naquam. Can you break down Genesis chapter 32 and 24? Why was Jacob wrestling with the angel? What encouraged the angel's visit? And why does some accounts say he wrestled with the Most High? All right, well, let's deal with it. Let's go to Genesis chapter 32. Now, remember, in this account, Jacob had to pass over and deal with Esau, right? He had to deal with Esau, and Esau came to meet him with 400 men, And I'm not going to read this whole chapter, but that's the foundation. Jacob had his family pass over, and Jacob himself remained there, on the other side of the water, and that's when he encountered the angel. Now, he encountered the angels earlier in this chapter, right? Let's read this. Genesis chapter 32 and verse 1. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of the Most High met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is the Most High's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim, right? So these are the angels, right? The Lord's host, he encounters the angels. Now let's jump down. I'm not going to read this whole account, but this is Genesis chapter 32 and 22. And he arose up in that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok, right? So this is Jacob taking his family and passing over the water. And he has to pass over, and Esau's in the way, right? And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. So Jacob, this man is an angel. It's not a regular man. All right. And there's a spiritual meaning behind this as well that we go into. Right. And on a spiritual level, Jacob's account wrestling this angel is what we experience on a day-to-day basis and what we experience as the people of the Lord. This is our lot. You understand? We carry the stigma, for lack of better terms, in righteousness of wrestling with the Most High, or being a prince of the Most High. That's what Israel means. Yah Shar Allah in the Hebrew, right? Yah is He, Shar is Prince, Allah is God, right? So we are princes of God, right? And we became princes of God after our encounter with this angel. You understand? And in the kingdom of heaven, you'll be given glory and be made a king and made a prince in righteousness and receive everlasting life if you can win this wrestle that you have. Every one of us, we have a wrestle that we have to deal with, man. Right? Maybe you're dealing with a particular demon you're wrestling with. Some people wrestle with lust. Some people wrestle with pride. Some people wrestle with weed smoke. Some people wrestle with cigarettes. Some people wrestle with financial woes and distress. Everybody's wrestling a man, right? A spirit. Everybody's dealing with something. And the Lord, like in wrestling matches, right? In college, there's a set time. Maybe it's 3 minutes. Maybe it's an Iron Man match. Like back in the day in the WWF era, he had a 60-minute Iron Man match, right? I don't know what it is in professional wrestling. UFC, they got like 3-minute rounds. There's a set time for this fight, you know? And we have a set time. Our time is from the time you come into this truth until the time that Yahweh Shah returns. Right? It's not, okay, 3-minute rounds and you can go home and then it's the card girl and she walk around and it's round 12. And no, this is a continual fight. And you are left alone, man. Like Jacob was left alone. Your family's not with you in this thing. Can't nobody wrestle this with you, man. Now you have brothers to help you or a congregation or sister to help you, but this is your fight. This is your fight that you have to overcome. You got to get this on your own, man. Right? Let's get that in second Esdras. Right? So this is to teach us and let us know how we obtain power with God and with men and how we prevail. We prevailed already. Right? We've already prevailed. So a lot of brothers think, I can't do it. I don't know. You already did it. Jacob did it already, man. When you was in his loins, you did it. You overcame. So anything that you're going through, your lot is to overcome. That's why, despite the trials and the hell that we go through, if we are the elect, we're going to overcome because we overcame already. All right. And that's for your encouragement and for your exhortation. Second Esdras, chapter 7, right? And verse, oh boy, I mean, this whole thing is good. Let's get the classic. Let's jump down. This second Esdras chapter 7 and verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. So every brother is essentially, and sister, you're put into this truth, and there's a kingdom down this path, but in front of you, there's this man. And there might be a few men, few spirits, a few. When I say man, I'm speaking about Jacob wrestling a man, which is really an angel. You know? It's like those video games back in the day. I remember the old Mortal Kombat. I used to have it on the Sega Genesis. They got Mortal Kombat 2. And they got on the new Mortal Kombat or whatever, right? But we had it back in the day. And, you know, you would be, you know, one of those guys, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you got to look it up, right? But you would have to go up these levels, you know, and each person, it got harder and harder until you got to the top. Now, you got to the top, you fought like the hardest guy. I can't remember his name, right? Or the other guy's name, you know, but you would get to the top. But it would start easy and it would work its way harder and harder and harder. And you have to get all the way to the top. You know, and that's how it is in this truth. Things start off easy. Right? Things are in the honey stage, pursuant to Revelation, the 10th chapter. You know, there's a sense of joy, no reluctance in this truth, and you're gun-ho. But then things get hard, man. You know, and now to get down to that kingdom, down that path, you got to deal with demons after demons, and it seems as though it's going to get harder. This is your condition. You can't escape this. See, in the world, you could quit a game. You can hit quit, main menu. You can unplug it. You could take the cartridge out. Or if you gotta, you could take the cartridge out. Right? You could break the controller. You could quit these games. You can't quit this truth. Once you come in this thing, you're here. And either you get beat by that spirit or you defeat that spirit. Don't listen to people that say, I left the truth. I left being a Hebrew Israelite. I'm done with that in my life. You're not done with that. It's done with you. It spitted you out and spewed you out, man. That man that you was wrestling with tore your damn ACL and made you tap out. Then you got men that are still damn wrestling, man. That demon might get you in a headlock for a minute. Then you kind of do that move, right? Whatever that is. And you put them in a full Nelson. Then you got the demon in the full Nelson for a few years. And then the damn full Nelson break loose and a damn pride demon hit you in the back. And you're wrestling with this spirit, man. Then the damn lust demon, he tap out. And then the next demon come in. And after the lust demon, it might be a damn cigarette demon. Or whatever you deal with, man. Damn cigarette demon, he coming on the scene now, cracking his damn knuckles, snapping his damn neck, man. Right? You done sweating, you fought that lust demon, you're sweating, you're tired. Now you got to fight that demon. Right? Let's read it again. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle. And they got these video games, you always got the final boss, or they say your final form. The final boss is Jacob's trouble. That's the final form. All right. This is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. So if you get defeated or overcome, you'll suffer. You'll tap out, But if you get the victory, you'll receive the thing that I say, which is everlasting life. Right? And this is what we're dealing with. You're left alone and you're wrestling this angel or this spirit until the breaking of the day, man. And Jacob was left alone and they wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. Now, the breaking of the day is when the sun comes up. Meaning, what time is he wrestling this angel? In the nighttime. This is a nighttime match. When you watch them basketball, football games, you got your daytime games that come on at 12, maybe 1 o'clock. Then you got your prime time. Come on at 8 o'clock, at 6 o'clock. Them nighttime games are prime time. This is a prime time event right here, man. This is what they call the main card or main event. They got the undercard and they got the guys that come in and they, try to figure this thing out and people are filling in the stadium. Then they got the main event. When the main event kick off, you see the flashing cameras and, you got the celebrities, they're sitting courtside. They got the fur coats on and they waving at the camera. This is a main event right now, man. You and this truth is a main event. And you're wrestling this angel in a spiritual nighttime. Let's go to Psalms chapter 104. This is a big deal right here, man. Right? This is Psalms chapter 104, right? And verse 20. Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. So the Lord made this darkness, man. And it is nighttime right now. What is a spiritual nighttime? Spiritual nighttime is a time of sin, a time of blindness, a time of stumbling, a time of theft, a time of murder, a time of revelry and deception and lewdness. All these things happen in the nighttime. And that's when all of the beasts of the forest do creep forth. Your owls and your hyenas and your coyotes and your foxes and your spiders and scorpions, they come out at nighttime. That's how these demons are. All these demons are out in the nighttime. Huh? Sex demons, folly demons, right? Lewd demons, hatred demons, debate demons. All of them are coming out in the nighttime and they're creeping forth. And they run up on you. You got to wrestle them, huh? Right? Let's read on. Genesis 32 and 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. Slakia. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. So this angel couldn't prevail against Jacob. Jacob was putting work on this angel, man. You know? So the angel said, all right, the angel touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. So he dislocated it from the hip bone. You know? For lack of better terms. As he wrestled with him. And sometimes that's how it is in this truth, man. You'll have these days when you're in this truth and you're mighty and you're zealous and, you know, you're on fire and you're diligent. Then all of a sudden, something happened, man. All right? Damn thigh get out of joint, man. Right? A demon hop on you. You go off. You fall short. You know? You feel that pain. And it's wrestling match. And these wrestling matches, hey, sometimes the winner becomes the loser, then the loser becomes the winner. You don't really know till it's all said and done, man. Right? So this is an intense deal going on. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. So Jacob said, I'm not letting you go, man. Right? He had this demon pinned up. Probably had him in a figure 4 leg lock. You know? Or he had him in a headlock, full Nelson. Right? He had him in a what they call it, a rear naked chokehold, an ankle lock, or ankle when they grab your ankle like he had this angel in some type of move, man. You know, a sharpshooter. I'm led to believe he had him in a maybe a full Nelson or a headlock or something like that. A rear naked chokehold. Jacob knew some stuff, man. Remember, Abraham was a warrior. Isaac was a warrior. So they, you know, Jacob was taught things, man. He wasn't just sitting around walking with a staff all day. Then Jacob said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. So he had this angel bound up. Right? And that's how brothers have to be, man. Don't let these spirits overpower you. Right? Don't let these demons think that they could just beat you down. You come from a seed line of a man that wrestled an angel all night. Maybe 8 hours, man. An angel. Let's go to Psalms, chapter 104. Let's jump, actually 103, right? And angels are stronger than men. Let's read that. Psalms chapter 103 and verse 20. Bless ye the Lord, ye his angels, that what? That excel in strength. That's how that angel was able to touch his thigh and it got out of joint. That do his commandments, hearkening to the voice of his word. So angels are naturally stronger in might than mortal man. Man was made a little lower than the angels, right? Let's get that. This is Psalms chapter 8 and verse 5. For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels and has crowned him with glory and honor. So angels are higher in rank in the spiritual world, and the angels are stronger in might. So for Jacob to defy the natural odds of creation speaks to the power that he was given by Yahweh. And a lot of brothers let these spirits go. You conquer these spirits and you just let them come back. You know? Jacob said, I will not let thee go. I will not let you come back and overmaster me. Because in the wrestling match, somebody might have you pinned down for a second. And if you don't do that little slip spin move, you know, if you're not quick, you get pinned down. But Jacob had this spirit pinned down. You got to have these demons pinned down, bro. He said, except thou bless me. So Jacob had that spirit of authority, man. Right? Same thing he did concerning Esau. Jacob wanted the blessings. He wanted the power to be close to the Most High. He knew this angel could give him power. He knew that there was a reward in this. He wasn't freaked out. Jacob said, I know what this thing is going on, man. Bless me. A lot of men won't think like that, man. You know, I'm wrestling this angel. So damn, what's going on? Jacob was the ultimate opportunist. That's why his name is Jacob. What does Jacob mean in the Hebrew? Yaiquab. What does Yaiquab means? Surplant, or to supplant, or supplanter. When you supplant somebody, you overtake them, right? That's what it means. You overtake them. You finesse them. How they say in the world. You got finesse. You get played. You get beguiled. You get outsmarted. You get outwitted. You know? People run circles around you, man. So that's what Jacob could do. That's how he got Esau. He got Esau and he got Isaac, man. You know? And so Jacob, he got Esau, he got Isaac, he got Laban. He got them all, man. Jacob is the ultimate. You can't put him down. He's going to find a way. Jacob is always going to find a way. And that's how we are. We're always going to find a way through the Spirit, man. You know? We're going to find a way to make work easier for us. You're going to find that spot. Everybody got that spot at the plantation. You know what I'm talking about, man, what you can kind of, duck off, or, you can find a way to make your job a little bit easier. You're always going to find a way. You can finesse this situation, and, you figured this out. You figured out if you do this and do that, you can get this kind of money. And, Jake, you're always figuring something out, man. When the odds are against you, when everything's stacked up against you, you have been created to figure out a way. See, these other nations, they commit suicide, man, when things don't go their way. Put all these other nations under the curses and see how they'll be eradicated. Jacob is going to find a way. Right? So Jacob said, hey, look, man, this is an opportunity for me to be blessed. Let's get it. So he said, bless me. I will not let thee go except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? So the angel said, this Genesis 32 and 27. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. So this one, Jacob's name was changed from Yaiquab to Yasha'Allah. So Jacob, since he obtained the victory, and that was his condition of the battle, that man that is born upon the earth shall fight. And Jacob obtained the victory. It's like the Lord said in Revelation, quick precept, right? This Revelation chapter 2 and verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So if you can overcome your wrestle that you have with these spirits, people be wrestling with their own mind. Some people doubt if they're really a man of the Lord. Some people doubt if the Most High is really dealing with them. Some people deal with depression. Some people deal with anger, wrath, lust. They can't take correction, pride. Everybody deals with something. But it shouldn't be strange that you're dealing with something. You're supposed to accept the fact that I am put into this wrestling match. And you should know who your opponent is. Your opponent is the flesh and the spirits that the Most High puts against you. That is your number one opponent. So it's not something where you're looking for Esau and Ishmael. Look in the mirror and examine yourself and see the opponent that the Most High put in the ring with you, and conquer that and master it and get the victory. Because if you do that, you'll receive power the same way Jacob received power. You'll truly be Yasha'Allah. See, a lot of people, they say that they're Israel, but that's only in word, but it's not in deed. Israel is not, or Yasha'Allah is not just something where you could just say it. It's like saying I'm in the NBA. I'm an NBA athlete, but I can't hoop. I can't shoot. I can't dribble, right? I can't play defense. I can't get no rebound. I'm not signed to a team, So the name means nothing. The name means nothing unless you live up to that name. You got people that say, yeah, I'm Israel, but you're freaking off. And you're not even wrestling. You're not even putting up a fight. You're just letting these demons molest you, jump you, beat you up. You know, you're not even Jacob. You're damn Rel. You whatever worldly name, that's what you have. You're damn Dre. You know, whatever your name was, you're not even Jacob now, because at least Jacob wrestled. You're letting these demons just have their way with you, man. How are you Jacob? How are you even Israel? Because Israel has conquered. He's overcoming. And he has power. And he believes the power that the Most High gave him, man. So which one are you, man? Right? So here's the reward. There's a reward for this thing. Verse 27. And he shall rule them. And then you're going to rule over all these nations with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. So you received the morning star and a rod of iron. You're not going to get a literal morning star. The morning star represents the brightness of this truth. It is the first sign of light in a time of darkness. Right? So you'll be used as a vessel to bring the nations out of darkness, right? And into the knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's the morning star. Because Yahushua is the bright and morning star. And he is the light to pull you out of darkness. And you'll be given that wisdom and understanding, but it's likened unto the morning star. And a rod of iron is the strictness and discipline and the punishments of breaking the law. Right? And you're literally going to break these nations in pieces too, man. Because a shepherd, they don't guide sheep with rods of iron. When David said in Psalms 23, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. The rod was not a rod of iron. We're not comforted with a rod of iron. We're comforted with the rod of a shepherd's rod. That's enough to discipline but not kill us. So we will go off, but the rod will correct us. The rod of iron, if the nations go off, and this iron, this will kill you, man. The judgments for breaking the law are death, and you will be killed for breaking the law. That's how we're going to rule over the nations, with the strictness and the severity of the law. We'll turn in our shepherd rod for a rod of iron, you know? So that's what's going to happen if you overcome. Right, let's read it again. Genesis chapter 32 and 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with the Most High and with men, and as what? And has prevailed. This is the point. You have power with the Most High. This is why you can pray to the Most High. And the Most High hears your prayers. That's what it tells you in 1 John. Let's just go to Mark 11. And there's a lot of precepts, but let's get this real quick. Mark chapter 11 and verse 24. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. You have power with the Most High. These other nations can't do that, man. They can't believe they're going to get something and they'll get it just by asking. If you pray for faith and you believe it, you're going to get it. If you pray for wisdom and you believe it, you're going to get it. You might be in financial distress. You need the Most High to pick you up, to set you back on your feet. And you pray and you believe, and and the Most High is going to give it to you. You have power with the Most High. You can check in with your Creator and pray to you and submit to your Maker and receive things. You have angels around you, Let's get this in Acts 12. These other nations don't have that, man. Acts 12 and 15. And they said unto her, they said this to Rhoda, right? Thou art mad. But she constantly affirmed that it was so. Then said they, it is his angel. Because Peter had an angel that busted him out of prison. You think these nations got angels that could bust him out of prison? When we read Deuteronomy 7 and 6, we got to understand that. It says, for thou art an holy people. unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now, when it says you're a special people and above all people, it's not just athletics. It's not because you could run fast and jump high. It's not because you just have melanin and you have these inventions. It's because you have power with God. You have angels that are always around you 24/7. You have chariots, you have vehicles from the third heaven that are spinning, guiding you as you drive and as you walk throughout the earth, man. You can tap in and connect straight to the Most High. You have dreams, you can have visions, you can interpret the scriptures. You can deal with the Holy Spirit can deal with you. And not only do you have power with the Most High, you have power with men. Because these other nations were made to be your slaves. They were made to serve you. And not only that, you have prevailed. When you prevail, let's put up the definition of prevail. Right? Prevail. Prove more powerful than opposing forces. Be victorious. So the end of Jacob, of our lot, if we're part of that number, is to be victorious. And there's nothing that nobody can do about it. We're going to win out. I like that one. We're going to win out, man. You know? See, when you deal with sports and stuff like that, you may not know who's going to win. Because you got underdogs, and the underdog might beat the number one seed, and a guy might get injured, and he might limit his team's chance of actually winning. And, you know, it's you don't really know who's going to win. With this truth, you know who's going to win. Right? You know, we know what's going to happen. Esau is the end of the world. Huh? Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Is there a question mark after that? 2nd Ezra 6:9, for Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Is there a question mark? Let's see if there's a question mark behind that. For Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Is it a question? Right? Is it up in the air? Are we still trying to figure this thing out? Who's going to get the victory? Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Ain't no question mark, man. Right? I mean, it's already written. It's already written who's going to get the victory. We just got to stay rooted in this thing and constantly pray to Yahweh Shmi Shot, man. You're going to get the victory. Right? Let's get one more. Right? So I love going into that account of Jacob and Esau, man. I mean, Salakia, Jacob and the angel. Right? Let's get this in Romans. Right? This is Romans. I mean, this whole thing is good. Right? Romans chapter 8 and verse 35. I mean, really, when you start at 31. I mean, damn, this whole thing is good, right? Right? Let's start at 29. I mean, let's start at 28. Oh, man, this whole thing is good. Right? Let's start at 26, right? Romans chapter 8 and 26. Right? See that? It says, our victory in Hamashiach. So that's the spirit, the victory, man. Right? We're going to win out when it's all said and done, man. We're going to, what they say, we're going to get the chip. Ain't no underdog that's going to take us down. Right? It's not like, okay, damn, number one seed, they got taken down. It was an upset. Ain't no upsets, man. Ishmael came out of nowhere and took the blessings. Then Esau prevailed. I mean, Ishmael prevailed. You know? Well, where's that at in the scriptures, man? Where there's an upset. We the number one seed and we're going to win out, man. You know? This is rigged. The Most High rigged it. They ain't talking about that game was rigged. We don't know the NFL, the NBA is rigged. We don't know who's going to win. You know, they set it up. The referees, they did this, they did that. This is rigged, man. And it's in our favor. And everything's for us. Right? It's like we play, you know, the angels are for us. The chariots are for us. Yahweh Shah's for us. The Most High's for us. Right? So we can't lose, man. Right? We can't lose. Romans chapter 8 and 26. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities. For we know not what we should pray for as we ought. but the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. Right? Because you deal with infirmities in this truth, right? You deal with demons, you deal with spirits. That's what these infirmities are, right? You're dealing with ailments in the spirit. You may have physical infirmities, but there are things that you deal with in this truth. And the Most High is letting you know that you are going to get what you need. That's why it says, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought. Because you might be praying for more faith, but you really may need more discernment. You might be praying for more discernment, but you really need more knowledge. You might be praying for a wife, but the Most High needs to give you more wisdom first. So you don't really know what you should be praying for. And if we didn't have the Most High, we'll be dead. That's why it says, but the Spirit maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. So essentially, even though you're praying for something that you may not necessarily need at that time, the Spirit inside of you is going to really say, yeah, hey, Most High, for lack of better terms, Lord, yeah, I know he's praying for faith, but he really needs some more discernment. And the Most High is going to give you that discernment. You might be praying for a wife, but the Most High may say, the Spirit is going to tap in and say, he's going to cut you off and say, Lord, pause. I know he prayed for a wife, but he really needs, more faith. So there's nothing, you can't lose, man. You can't lose. It's like if you playing basketball, you shoot a shot, it's going to hit off the rim and fall, but then it stop midair and the angel take it and put it right back in the rim. So you can't lose. That's how this is, man. You're going to win out. Then you shoot again. You shoot off backboard and it hit the rim. Then it spin out and spin out and fall. But right before it spin out, the angel kind of do that. So that's how it is with your prayers. That's how you grow in this truth. It's not because of you. It's the Spirit. You were elected. That's why it says with groanings that cannot be uttered. Because that's the mind of the Spirit. You have your actual mind, but the Spirit has a mind that's plugged into the Most High. That's going to give you what you need, not what you want, to make you receive salvation. You have to receive salvation. You're the elect. So this thing is rigged, man. That's why, verse, this truth is beautiful, man. When you really understand it, this truth is beautiful, right? And that's another statement. Verse 27. And all the Most High is asking for is faith. You notice all the Most High is asking for is just faith. All you have to do is believe. And this is yours, man. You just have to believe that this is yours. You have to believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. All you have to do is just believe this, man. And it's yours. Right? Let me read on. I'm about to get another precept, but let's read on. Romans 8:27. And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of the Most High. See that? So the Lord really knows what's the mind of the Spirit, right? And he knows what you really need to receive salvation. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High, to them who are the called according to his purpose. So everything's going to work out for you, right? You may have bad times in this truth, for lack of better terms, and times when you fall short and, you may go off or you may lose your job and, things might not go your way. And you might deal with adversity and hell, physical pain, and your back hurt all of a sudden. Your knee messed up and your car break down. But again, all things, when it's all said and done, are going to work together for good. Right? Verse 29. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. So the Lord foreknew you, meaning in the spirit world, the Lord elected you to receive eternal life before you were born. So when you were programmed, for lack of better terms, to receive eternal life, the Most High put you in these bodies. So it just has to play out. This is the Most High's movie. And that happens in these movies with these superheroes and stuff like that, man. You know, I remember they had the Batman movie. This was years ago. They had the Batman movie. I went to see the Batman movie um, with Bane, right? If you've seen it, you've seen it. If not, then you got to check it out, right? But they had the Batman movie and a lot of these superhero movies and stuff like that, right? The good guy, he may win for a while, but then he'll lose, you know? He's the protagonist, the good guy, and the antagonist is the bad guy. So you watch the movie, you know, he was getting beat up. I think they broke his back, and they threw him in this dungeon. He had to go through hell. But when you watch that movie or any movie, are you expecting the good guy to lose when it's all said and done? You know, even though you're watching the movie, you might be like, God damn, how did this happen? And you might get emotional, and some people yell at the screen. And right before the credits roll, he's going to get the victory. No matter what, he's going to get the victory. Because that's the script. Right before the end, he's going to win. That's your life in its truth. The hell that you catch, the tribulation and the fire you're going through, when it's all said and done, the Most High has a role for you in this thing. You have to stick to the script, man. Or the Most High, he's going to make sure you stick to the script. Right? Same thing with this truth. You're predestinated. Your life was chosen before you were created. Your destiny was chosen. Verse 30. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. What shall we say to these things? If the Most High be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything to the charge of the Most High's elect? It is the Most High that justifieth. So you can't lay any charge. That's like going to court and you're nobody can say nothing about you. They can't lay a murder charge on you. You might have committed murder, but the judge says, hey, look, you can't say nothing to this guy. I don't know the legal term. There might be a legal term for it, you know, but some guys are untouchable. They're above the law. Even in this world, you can't charge the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the elites. They're above the law. No matter what they did, they're above the law. So there are certain spirits that Satan and he is not going to be able to charge on you, man. Even though you may have done it. If you're the elect, the Most High is not going to impute unto you that sin. It's up to the Most High. He's going to justify you. That's why even though we fall short and we sin, there are men that are still going to make it. They're still going to receive an everlasting life. There's 144,000 men who Yahweh Bashar said that in their mouth was found no guile. Now, how can that be? How can you have 144,000 men and a sinful body who go off every day, but yet in their mouth was found no guile? Because the Most High, he justified them. So you can't lay a charge on these men. These men are above your judgments, man. Right? Let's get that. They were made perfect by the Lord. Right? This song, I'm going to get this first. Psalms chapter 32 and verse 1. Right? Blessed is the man unto whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. So you're truly blessed once the Lord don't charge you with these sins. Right? All of the things that you have done, the Most High is going to forgive you for these things. Right? He's going to forgive you if you're the elect. Right? There's something called the sure mercies of David. Right? Let's get that real quick. Right? This is Psalms like Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 55 and 3. Right? Incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. What are the sure mercies of David? But remember, David committed adultery and essentially murder, right? Committed adultery with Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah the Hittite. Now, according to the law, Leviticus 20:10, right? David should have been put to death by the Most High for committing adultery. Did David get put to death? No, he received mercy. The sure mercies of David is what the elect will receive, right? Meaning the grace of the Lord, the liberty of Yahweh Bashmel Shai. Even though they sin and they're going to fall short, the Lord is going to give you sure mercy and forgive you. Those are the sure mercies of David. And they're not going to be just applied to David. They're going to be applicable to every member of the elect. All right. Now, let's go back to that. That's why it says in Romans 8:33, who shall lay anything to the charge of the Most High's elect? It is the Most High that justifies. Like court, right? You can't lay certain charges on certain people. Who is he that condemneth? Right? Like, a good precept for this is Zechariah the 3rd chapter. Right? Let's get a good precept for that. Right? This is Zechariah chapter 3. Zechariah chapter 3 and verse 1. And he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of Yahweh, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him. Now, this is a court situation, right? You got to understand what's going on. You have the judge, which is the Most High. You have the defendant, which is Joshua, which represents Israel, right? And you have Satan. Satan is the prosecutor, right? The prosecutor's job is to bring up the crimes that you have done, that you may receive a punishment. That's what all of these prosecutors do. They work for the state. They may work for the local court or law enforcement. Their job is to make you look bad, to bring up all your dirt, all of your evil, right? So you can receive your penalty. That's Satan's job. That's what it means he's resisting you. He said, hold on, Lord. Here's all of the sins of Israel, man. They were serving other gods, right? Of the Babylonians and the Assyrians. They were putting their children in the fire to Molech, Adremelech, and strange gods, right? You had men and sons going into the same woman. You had sacrilege. You had badness. So Satan was laying all these charges on Joshua the high priest and this courtroom situation. But what did the Lord do? And Yahweh said unto Satan, Yahweh rebuke thee, O Satan. Even Yahweh that hath chosen Jerusalem rebuke thee. It's not this a brand plucked out of the fire. So the Lord checked them, man. Like we always bring out, the Lord said overruled, right? Or your case, pretty much your case dismissed, man. Right? Case overruled and case dismissed. That's what it says, he rebuked you. Now, Satan can bring up charges on you, and the Most High can judge you for those things, and it can happen. But for the elect, when it's all said and done, it's case dismissed, man. Let's pull it up. What does case dismissed mean? Case dismissed. Dismiss refers to the court's decision to terminate a court case without imposing liability on the defendant, man. So pretty much you get off, you go away scot-free, how they say, man. Right? You get saved. Right? And that's how it's going to be. Right? All your case is going to be dismissed. It's going to be thrown out. And your record is going to be clear. You see that? Does a dismissal clear your record? Now, I don't know about in this world or whatever, but I know in the world to come, you have a clean record, man. You have a clean record. You're not going to be in a kingdom being charged of being a murderer, man. Or you broke the Shabbat. Or you did drugs. Or you was a drunkard. Or you was a sodomite or a damn thief. You have a clean record. In a world to come. Right? And the judge is the Most High. Right? Case dismissed. This is what the Lord did right here. And he gave a reason, like any judge would. Is not this a brand plucked out of the fire? I mean, I'm going to show them mercy. You land up these charges on these people. They just got out of captivity. They're few in number. Most of them don't even want to live in Jerusalem. They're barely building a temple. They're being vexed by Sanballat, Tobias, and these heathens, right? And you want to lay these charges on them? No. I'm a merciful God. Case dismissed. These are my people, and it is what it is, man. Right? Zechariah 3:3. Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel, like Israel. This represents Israel, right? We're clothed with filthy garments as a people. The filthy garments represents our sins, right? See, our garment is filthy because it's spotted by the flesh. It tells you that in the book of Jude, right? Let's open up another blue letter. Right? The Lord said, hating even a garment spotted by the flesh. Let's see where I'm at with time. All right, this is Jude, verse, Slakia, 23, right? Jude 1:23. And others say with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh. So what makes your garment filthy? The spots. The spots on your garment is the flesh, fleshly works. Read Galatians 5 and read about the fleshly works: adultery, variance, witchcraft, emulations, right? Envies. All of these things are the flesh that spots and stains your garments, your sins. All right. Let's go to let's get another precept on that. Right, 2 Peter chapter 2 about your garment, your filthy garment. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 13. And shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they counted pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots they are, and blemishes. You see that? Sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you. So you have men that are sinful in a congregation of the righteous, right? So our people are sinful. We have filthy garments. They're no longer pure and white, which is the fine linen and the righteousness of the saints. Let's get that real quick in Revelation. Right, let's get one more. Right, I know I spent a lot of time on this question, but that's the spirit. It's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? This is Revelation chapter 19 and verse 8. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. So that's our end goal. We have a garment tailor-made for us as a bride, perfectly fitted for the elect, right? So let's read Zechariah 3:3 again. Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments, meaning Israel clothed in our sins, and stood before the angel. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, meaning the other angels, right? This is like a courtroom situation. And the other angels are like bailiffs, right? When you pull up a courtroom, you got the bailiff and you got the person that typed, like the stenographer, whatever they call it. You got the attorneys, right? So those that stood by are like the bailiffs, security, for lack of better terms, right? Servants. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with a change of raiment. And I said, let them set a pharometry upon his head. So they set a pharometry upon his head and clothed him with garments, and the angel of Yahweh stood by. So we're going to go from being filthy unto being clean. So there's no charge you could lay on the Most High's elect. All right, let's go back to this. Romans chapter 8 and verse 34. Who is he that condemneth? It is Hamashiach that died, yea, rather, that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of the Most High, who also maketh intercession for us. Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword. Are any one of these things going to separate us from this truth? Are you going to get separated from this truth because you lost your job? You broke your ankle? You're going through a rough patch in your life? Your family despises you? Are you really going to let that separate you from the love of Mashiach? If you let it separate you, then you're not one of the elect. And there are charges that will be laid on you. Are you going to let this stress? Maybe your car broke down, and maybe a woman rose up against you. Maybe people are threatening your life. What about persecution? Being threatened. People wanting to kill you, slay you with the sword. Famine that draws nigh on the earth. Are you going to let famine separate you from the Lord? You may have to go a day or two without food, man. You may seem like you don't have anything to eat. The Most High may have you go without for 5 days, man. Some people are going to curse the Most High and die. Other men are going to endure that and wrestle that. Or nakedness, just being destitute. Or peril, which is danger. Maybe you're in a FEMA camp. Maybe you're a pilgrim on earth. Maybe you're looking at a guillotine. Maybe the army's chasing you. Are you going to let these things separate you from the love of Mashiach? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, meaning no. And all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature, meaning even that spirit that wrestled with Jacob, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Hamashiach Yahushai, our Lord. And that's what this is about in Genesis chapter 32. What's going to separate you from the Most High? Right? Are you going to be conquered by these things? Or does it say, nay, we are more than conquerors through him that loved us? Right? So that's what that's going into, right? In Genesis chapter 32 and 24. All right? Let's see. Next question. In Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 through 11, did Yahushua experience Satan in a physical body, or was it a spiritual exchange? Was the voice of Satan in his head trying to encourage him to do those things? Right? So he actually dealt with the spiritual demon Satan. It wasn't a so-called white man that came up to him. Right? When you go to the account, right? And Satan is the tempter. Right? So Satan can tempt you through man. He could tempt you through a woman. He could tempt you through your job or anything. Right? He can find something and get you. Huh? He could tempt you with your emotions and have you get out the spirit and all types of folly. Right? He's called the tempter. He'll disguise himself as an angel of light, pursuant to 2 Corinthians chapter 11. Right? Let me get that real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, I'll read 13. Right? 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 13. Right? It reads, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So Satan will use a disguise, for lack of better terms, to conceal his intentions and his overall purpose and his tactics. All right, like a serpent. So dealing with the account of Yahushua, it was the spiritual demon Satan. All right, this is Matthew 4 and 1. Then was Yahushua led up of the spirit unto the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. Right? So he had to go through this. Who led him up there? The Most High. The Most High said, here's your trial. We'll put you on trial. All right? just like he did with Israel. See, this was to show you that you can overcome temptation. Israel in the wilderness in the time of Moses, they were out there for 40 years, right? 40 years. Yahushua was out there for what? 40 days. We fell short of the tempter in the wilderness. Yahushua shows you that you can overcome that. You can overcome the temptation in the wilderness. This is the wilderness, Babylon, right? A thirsty land, a dry land with wild beasts and no trees and fruit and shade, right? And we're being tempted of the devil. We're led up the Spirit. The Spirit brought us here. The Spirit brought us to Babylon the Great. The Spirit brought us to this strange land to be tempted of the devil, to be tried and tested. Verse 2. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered, right? And like we brought out earlier, 40 is a spiritual number. This is literally 40 days and 40 nights, but 40 is a weighty number in the eyes of the Most High, okay? And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. So the tempter is the spiritual demon Satan. Satan is a spirit, right? Now, it doesn't say if he physically saw the spiritual demon Satan or Satan was trying to tap into him in the flesh, right? But we're all tempted by the spiritual demon Satan. And the same way we get tempted, it's the same way Yahushua was tempted. So the spiritual demon Satan comes to us and he gets in our mind and makes us doubt or makes us question things or makes us, lack judgment, right? And that's how Yahushua was tempted. When you read Hebrews chapter 2, all right, let's get that quick precept. Hebrews chapter 2 and verse, let's start at, this whole thing is good. All right, let's start at 14. Then I'm going to get Hebrews 4, right? First, let me get Hebrews 4. So, Salaki, let me get Hebrews 4, and then I'll get that. Right, so this is Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 15. For we have not an high priest, which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. So how are we tempted? Do we see a red man with red horns and a jar of seduction that knocks on our door and says, hey, I'm Satan. Here, drink this. Do we have a cup of coffee and Satan, he do this, you got a cup and you look to the left and Satan pop a damn something in your damn drink, man, and make you go off? Then we get tempted. No, man. Satan don't put stuff in your drink, and he's not a red man walking around. He put his pitchfork in the trunk, and he popped the trunk, take the pitchfork out. No, right? So Satan works in manifold ways. Satan works in your mind. He can try to get into your mind. Satan can manifest himself as a physical individual, right? Or in a particular situation, right? The Most High, he'll set this scenario up where you have to decide, are you going to serve the Most High? And the temptation lies in what you want, what the flesh wants, despite what the Spirit says. So he creates these, for lack of better terms, these scenarios, these battlefields, these realms in the Spirit. And you're there. And you have to make a decision. Am I going to serve the Most High or am I not? And you being conflicted and ready to go off is Satan setting that thing up for you, man. So Yahushua was tempted the same way we're tempted every day. So Yahushua was tempted by Peter. When you read Matthew the 16th chapter, he was tempted when he was on the cross. He was tempted by the Sadducees. He was tempted by the Pharisees. He was tempted many times, yet without sin. And that's how we're tempted, right? This is Hebrews 2. All right. I'm gonna have to get maybe one more. I got to close up. All right. Let me see where I'm at with time. You see that? All right. So this Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 14. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had power of death, that is the devil. Right? Because the devil, which is the spiritual demon Satan, causes man to sin once man falls into temptation. It's like once he's enticed, then he's driven to his lust, then lust is conceived and it brings forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. And it all starts with the devil. Right? And deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. Right? For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest, and things pertaining to the Most High, to make reconciliation for sins of the people. So he was made like his brethren. Yahushua had 4 brothers. He had Joseph, he had Simon, he had James, he had Judas. Right? He had other brothers, non-biological, right? Peter, John, James, the rest of the apostles. He was made just like them. Right? Same senses, same sight, smell, touch, taste, hearing, speech, understanding, right? Same thing, right? It reads that for in that he himself suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted. So, there's no, pretty much Yahushua overcame being tempted. So he's the number one authority, and there's no one more qualified than him to show you how to come out of your temptation. So you call upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Use the word of the Most High to fight that temptation. That's how you're succored. You're helped by applying Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's word. That's what Yahushua did. Right? That's how he mastered Satan and overcame him. In Matthew 4, he poured a precept in Deuteronomy, another precept in Deuteronomy, poured this precept, right? So through experience, he has received the highest level of qualification to help you and your temptations, right? Because he went through it and overcame it. Now you have to go through it and you receive help, and you'll overcome if you use the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, right? So with that, I'm gonna have to close up. I'm gonna have to do a part 2, right? I'm gonna definitely have to do a part 2, Lord willing. Time is against me, but again, it's the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Wamalak Yahushai. Most High willing, you was edified. Again, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Wamalak Yahushai. From Yashalom. Shalom.